Hello friends, Joe here at Reverb, and today I am coming to you with another warm-up routine video. This time had the pleasure of sitting with Alex Skolnick. Wow, what a guy, what a player, and he showed me some of the coolest harmonic ideas that I've learned in years. Here it is, the warm-up routine of Alex Skolnick.
Normally, when I'm at home, I'll start on a guitar that's harder to play.
Oh, okay.
The Gibson L5 right there.
Yeah.
1976 is probably my best sounding instrument that I own, but it's a bit more of a challenge. Or I might play an acoustic, usually a Taylor. But just for convenience, I'll start on my electric because I usually switch over to electric. Gotcha. And one really useful component for me has been the diminished scale.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's an 8-note scale, right? So, so one way to think of it is the first half of a minor scale, right? So if you play a natural minor scale, right, like A minor. You could play the same scale, but from E flat, which would be this.
Okay.
When you put those together, you get the 8-note diminished scale, which sounds like this.
Oh.
Now, that's just one way of playing it, too.
Interesting.
I just did that for simplicity. Or you could stay in the 5th fret position.
Oh, okay.
So the whole thing repeats in minor thirds. Right. So any minor third. So the minor third of A is C. So you can play C. The minor third of C is E flat. So you could play it from there. Okay. And the minor third of E flat is F sharp, which we just did.
Okay.
So the repetition of minor thirds is it's an essential factor in the diminished scale, and it unlocks a lot of ideas.
So the majority of what Alex showed me all had to do with the diminished scale. Diminished ideas, diminished theory, and it was a really cool world to dive into. So the first thing that Alex showed me was just a kind of a fresh take on the diminished scale, just a way of outlining the scale and talking about it in terms of half scales. This was really interesting for me. So we started in the key of A, so we're going to play an A diminished scale. Now, the way that Alex approaches this is the first half of an A minor scale. Okay, easy. A, B, C, D, right? Now, from D, from the 4th degree, shifting up a half step. So now we're at E flat. And now Alex says, you look at E flat, the half scale of an E flat minor. Okay, so it's basically taking the half of an A minor scale and half of an E flat minor scale and putting them together for an A diminished scale. Just that idea alone, I thought, oh, that's cool. Just half of an A minor scale and then half of its tritone scale, half of the E flat minor scale. It was really important for me to kind of get the handle on making the position shift when I'm shifting into what I'm thinking to be a different key. Shift. Shift. Shift.
When I was in junior high school, everybody was going crazy for Ozzy Osbourne and Randy Rhoads. And Randy Rhoads had this live solo where he did a lick, and it was something like this.
Yeah.
You could descend that.
Totally.
But more often than not, though, I'll come up with some lick or pattern.
Okay.
And practice that and make usually some kind of repeating shape that can be moved around in minor thirds or tritones.
Okay,
right?
great.
So the first three notes of the scale, right? A, B, C. Let's do that an octave higher on the first string.
Okay.
Now let's do this. Let's hammer on the high note. So we'll go A, C, B.
Okay.
And then you have a this note right below it, G sharp.
Okay.
You can also do this. Repeat the low note.
Oh.
And that makes a possible faster lick.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Right? It's a little. There's not much going on.
Right.
It ends up being a potential shred lick.
That's cool. That's very cool.
If we add another string, right? So far, we've only been working with the first string. If we add the second string to this, we can do this note here.
Nice. I like this. Right.
And eventually, there's more strings involved. I'm going to skip to 4 strings.
Okay. Ooh.
And then there's your root right there. So
And then your root.
You can hear it in different sections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get a lot of mileage.
All right. So first of all, just these tiny little licks that Skolnick kind of takes out of that scale, out of that idea. Starting on the root, going up a minor third, down to the second, to the root, and then to the seventh. So just sliding down one pick attack and then this kind of diminished lick on top. Now, as we know, this diminished theory works if you move things in minor thirds, right? So, and then moving it. Right? Okay, just moving it in minor thirds. Metronome is a really great idea too. There's no time. Okay, so he takes that and descends that idea onto the next few strings, okay? I already love this idea. I love this idea of having a half-step interval played on 2 different strings. It gets you that nice dissonance, tension if you want it. Okay? Now descending down the scale from there. So F sharp, F. Skolnick does such a great musical thing with pull-offs, these legato passages that I'm really still trying to get the handle of. But so we have E flat, D, C. Okay, and then to the D string, B, A, down to G sharp, and then landing on A. Okay, now a really cool pattern that then he puts with this is descending a few notes, going back up and repeating the notes on that string, and then descending down to the next string, repeating the notes on that string as well, like this. It's a great lick. And I'm trying to do as much pull-offs as possible. Again, just to try to if I keep working on this and if I keep being, remaining conscious of the legato idea, then I feel like I could get this much closer to the way that Skolnick does it. But use your discretion. If you want to pick, you could try picking every note. Of course, use your discretion. Do you?
There's even more variations, and I'll just show you the first part.
Okay.
Very simple thing, but just don't repeat the root. Go straight to the.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Then you're grabbing the root up on the B string as well.
Yeah, I'm repeating the 4-note pattern. It's the same thing as going down 3 frets.
Oh, okay. Nice. Good. Nice.
I'm probably doing these too much on my recent recordings, but I feel like it's a space that's, not that explored. So
I agree.
So just, it's good to look at it vertically, like on the same set of strings.
Yeah.
Right, we have the same thing.
Yeah.
Starting on the second string.
Oh, I see. I want to revert to shapes that I know. Crazy.
Exactly. It takes you out of those patterns that you're sort of locked into.
Absolutely. That's big.
Very next one on the next string, this leads you to this. This is very convenient because it's E flat.
Yeah.
So this middle one, you might think, oh, why would I do that? That's such a weird position. I have to be on my second finger. I've got to do this weird stretch. It makes no sense, but it does make sense because you're coming out of this. And you're going to this.
Yeah.
So having one sort of awkward shape, and then once you're used to it, it's not that awkward. But having that one awkward shape in the middle allows you to put these 3 shapes together.
Oh, yeah.
As you do these, you find more and more shapes. I might say, okay, here's what we just did. Well, we were talking about this E flat, right? So I might think, I'm really feeling this E flat. It's almost like a minor triad, except there's no B flat. So I might think, okay, if it was a minor triad, you could do all this.
Totally. You use these more conventional ideas, but then step outside of it a little bit with this diminished theory.
And then it opens up all this other. Right, because it's all movable by minor thirds.
Okay, so this next idea involves skipping the root on the way back down, going straight to the 7th and to the next string for the 7th. So the first time I played that, just that passage right there from root, minor 3, 2, and major set or 7th on the next string, I felt like it was a completely foreign thing. And 1, flat 3, 2, 7. Now we're going down to the F sharp here, and then going back up a string to the root, and then to the 7th, and now we're skipping the first note of that passage. So it's like the F sharp we're looking at as kind of a root, and then we're going up to its minor 3rd, to its 2nd, and then skipping it to go to the F. So this is the same idea performed a minor 3rd away. Really cool tonality. Really, I love this stuff. Okay, now, same thing, same technique. We're gonna do the same thing, a minor 3rd down again. So, we're gonna start here on the E flat. And again, if we treat E flat as our root and apply those same intervals, then we have 1, flat 3, 2, 7, right there. So E flat, F sharp, F, or G flat if you want to look at it like that. E flat, G flat, F, D. You know, we learned this technique, you know, with minor pentatonics too, right? We do this thing. You know, we do that thing where we go down 4 notes, go back up 3 and stuff like that. There's something different about this, not only because it's just such a different shape, but there's something about the headspace that you put yourself in, thinking about, oh, E flat's my root now. Oh, C's my root now. Oh, F sharp's my root now. It brings this really kind of cryptic, it just kind of like encodes it in a different way.
So let's say, we're thinking of A as the root still.
Cool.
And I mentioned earlier these classic diminished shapes, right? Right, the 80s open solo like. Right, which is cool, and you can put that to great use, right? So that type of arpeggio is right here. Down, hammer, down, down.
Okay.
Now, before I expand on that, so the typical thing to do would be to go minor 3rd, which is fine. You know, there's some, makes a nice little sweeping lick.
Totally.
But you can combine it with the lick we were doing before. If we did that here,
yeah, setting up the lick a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and actually when I play that, I tend to feel that on one of the off beats.
Okay.
If, instead of ending on the root, let's take another note from the diminished scale, right? So you have this note here.
Cool.
And that's a little more colorful. Yeah, that's a new one for me. So sometimes when I come up with these, I have to take some time and digest them. But what I had in mind, the one I was going to play, was this note.
Wee. Okay.
And this is a great warm-up because it's this great stretch. So, of course, that repeats in minor 3rds.
Right. Oh.
Really, it makes a nice little sweeping thing. even just at a slow tempo, it opens up so many ideas.
Yes, yes. Now, one more technique on the diminished front, okay, on this, and we're gonna stay in A diminished. This is a cool one too because it's familiar territory, and then he just twists it just enough. Right? A, C, right there. A, C, E flat, F sharp, up to A, right? I know I'm calling this F sharp. You can call it G flat, depending, however you want to look at that. As a diminished seventh, it would technically be called G flat. Landing on the B there is just a really cool vibe. I just love that. Okay, now, as we know, we can just move this in minor thirds, so we can take those same shapes. It's so cool the way that you can leave off on notes, and it's almost like if you don't resolve it to A, you hang on an E flat or you hang on a B. You really are presenting this mystery at the end of a line, and that's what I think is so cool, and Skolnick does this so well. This type of practice with this diminished scale theory, this color that he injects into his playing is really stunning, and I love it. I really can't wait to explore this territory more. So, there you have it. You have some diminished theory, a new look at the diminished scale itself, applying that scale and pieces of the scale in descending motion, exciting ways to use diminished theory improvisationally, compositionally. This stuff is so cool. Alex Skolnick, thank you a million times for sitting down with me and taking the time to show me this stuff. Our interview was so cool, and I loved your energy and the way that you put these ideas forth. And like every other episode in this series, this is about a warm-up routine and getting warmed up and getting your ears and your mind and your body ready to play. But there's always so much beneath that. There's always so much more to dive into harmonically. And it's so rich, the ideas that can come from a warm-up routine and something that has repetition to it. You do this every day, or you do this every couple of days for a few weeks. See how it blends into your expression. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Reach out if you've got some ideas that you're using this stuff with. Thank you, Skolnick, once again. Yeah, Joe from Reverb out. We'll see you next time. Cheers.